Hey guys, my name is Chris Norris Jones. I am the host of the Metal Gear Marathon, and I have been drinking tequila and talking about Metal Gear for like the last hour and a half. And I've been informed that I need to go ahead and I need to talk about Metal Gear Solid 2. So, probes to insanity. Okay. Have you ever had a dream that you thought was so sure it was happening when it was happening, but as soon as you wake up and look back on it, it feels like utter insanity? That's basically what Metal Gear Solid 2 is. They're going and they're infiltrating a tanker, which they know is carrying this anti-Metal Gear called Metal Gear Ray. So they sneak aboard, but because the video game you need to kill people within like 30 seconds, the Russian military group comes in, led by a guy named Grlukovich, and now it's filled with like angry Russian soldiers. Ocelot's also there, because Ocelot's always there forever and ever and ever. You fight Grlukovich's daughter, some girl named Olga, who has a real love of body hair. You knock her out, you tranquilize her out, find out where the Metal Gear Ray is being held and where the ship is going. You have to end up in the big hold area where Colonel Dolph is having a big 7-minute speech in front of like 100,000 soldiers, and you gotta go and like sneak past all of them, take a bunch of pictures of Metal Gear to put it up on your blog, because that's how you stop Metal Gear these days, is by putting it out there on the social media. And as soon as you do that, Dolph's speech is just about to end, and just as soon as it's about to finish, Ocelot comes up and he basically says, "Dolph, you're all crazy and you're liars, we're gonna steal Metal Gear now, thank you very much." Shoots Dolph right cold through the head, I think, possibly. And then as soon as Grlukovich is like, "Yes, now we have Metal Gear Ray from Mother Russia," Ocelot's like, "Not so fast, I'm actually taking it for the Patriots." Kills Grlukovich, and just before he's about to jump into Ray, you kind of realize that Ocelot's actually got 2 arms. He just like starts gripping his arm and like screaming into the air, and then you find out that he actually replaced his arm with Liquid Snake's arm. That makes the most sense in the world. Because science, I guess. Liquid Snake takes over Ocelot's body. So now you're seeing old man Ocelot talking through the voice of Liquid Snake, basically saying, "Brother, I'm gonna take this Metal Gear for reasons that are still inscrutable to you and also to me." And then they burst off from the ship, like, black the screen. 2 years go by, and then you are now some soldier who kind of looks like Snake. It looks like you're going into this area under the guise of Foxhound. Colonel Campbell's talking to you, and he's just like, "So 2 years ago, this tanker blew up. The president was going there to just like chill out, hang out, I guess, get some environmental votes. When this like weird group of like angry super misfits, they attack this big shell. Well, the president's there, steal his nuclear codes. Now they're holding the world hostage, because I guess that's the way the nuclear codes work. I'm really not sure how that one kind of works. You sneak into the base, you pull off your mask, and oh, you're not Snake anymore, because that's like the biggest reveal in video games of all time. You're playing as Raiden, a beautiful hirsute little elfin boy. You go onto the different like sections of Big Shell. You're attacked by a vampire. One of the members of Dead Cell is actually a vampire. And just as you're about to die, this guy who looks and sounds and talks exactly like Solid Snake saves your ass. But he introduces himself as Iroquois Pliskin, because Kojima really, really loves Escape from New York. Vamp runs away. You talk with Pliskin for a little while, and then you find out that like the president's being attacked nearby. You're like, "Hey Pliskin, should you help your people out?" And he's like, "Nah, I lost a lot of blood. I'm gonna sit here and smoke for a couple of minutes." So then you go off, and then you see the president getting taken by Vamp, the Vampire Man, and also a lady named Fortune, who's got a railgun the size of like 3 human beings stacked end on end. And she can't get shot by bullets because apparently she's like the luckiest person alive. You meet a dude named Stillman, who is like a bombs expert, and he tells you, "Hey, one of the other guys from Dead Cell is this like fat bomb expert named Fat Man. Man, he's put bombs all over the building." You and Pliskin, you go around Big Shell, diffusing all these bombs with like freezing spray. But like as you're diffusing all these bombs, Stillman is just like, "These bombs are put in really weird areas. This doesn't make sense for bombers." And you find out, oh shit, they're trick bombs, and you've now like employed Fat Man's trap card, and like his actual bombs have activated. So you got like 6 minutes to run down, and you got to turn off that thing. At the same time, Stillman, he runs off to stop one of the other bombs, but he f***s up on it. He explodes and dies. Half of Big Shell kind of explodes, and it's a whole big thing. You find out where Fat Man's like chilling. You go up there, you fight him, you kill him, and he's like, "The biggest bomb of all is hidden nearby," and he's sitting on it, because like that's of course like the easiest way to do it. And soon after that, you're like attacked by like another cyborg ninja, and he's like, you need to go break into the main area. That's where the president's bodyguard is hidden, and you need to talk to him because he knows where the president is. He's being held in a big hostage area, and everyone is there, and you don't know who the bodyguard is, but the bodyguard's got a pacemaker. So go like steal the directional microphone, and then you can figure out which one the bodyguard is. You break in, you wear this like guard suit, end up in a room listening to Olga, who's also there, talking with Ocelot, who's also there, because Ocelot's fucking everywhere in these games, and this like kind of masked guy who like keeps calling himself Solid Snake. Well, as soon as you find Ames, I think like Ocelot, he comes into the room and he's just like, soldier, why are you pointing a microphone at everybody? Pulls off your masks, realizes that no one that handsome and beautiful could ever possibly be a Russian soldier. Ames dies of a heart attack, and as soon as you run away and you're about to die, the cyborg ninja jumps down, almost takes Ocelot's arm, but doesn't, because that would be really funny if it happens twice in this series, and then you escape from there. So you have to like go over this bridge, which is between like one half of Big Shell and the other half of Big Shell. And as soon as you go over the bridge, you're attacked by a Harrier jet. And also you finally see this like guy who's calling himself Solid Snake, and he's an old dude in this like big muscle suit. But you find out that it's actually not Solid Snake, it's Solidus Snake, aka the former president of the United States. God damn, I love the Metal Gear world. He jumps into the Harrier jet. You spend a 5-minute like fighting battle shooting Stinger missiles at the Harrier jet. Finally blow it up. You hit Solidus Snake in the eye, because that's a trope of Metal Gear games. Everyone's got to lose an eye at some point in time. And then you continue on from there. God, what happens after that? You sneak into the Shell 2 core, where the president's being held, but he's held behind an electrical, like, field, so you have to go and steal a rocket launcher to blow up, like, the generator, which is really funny, because every time you ever play that scene, you always end up shooting the president with a rocket, and it's, like, the funniest thing in the world whenever it happens. And then you have, like an hour-and-a-half info dump with you talking to President... what's his name? I don't even know what his name is. He basically tells you that the entire American government is a lie. It's actually just kind of like this puppetry show, and the entire world is being led by this group called the Patriots, and they also control like Metal Gear production, which is what Big Shell is actually about. And then Raiden goes, oh, I saw Metal Gear Ray earlier, because he did, because actually Metal Gear Ray was part of that like Harrier battle. I forgot about that. I've been drinking. And then the president says, no, Metal Gear Ray is not the Metal Gear project. This entire fucking building is a Metal Gear. It's called Metal Gear Arsenal. It's a giant, like, fortress city tank thing that also has the power to control the internet. That's totally a legitimate thing to say in 2001, is that this building can just, like, control the internet. You're gonna take this CD and you're gonna give it to the hacker girl that's, like, trapped under, like, lower beneath me, so that she can, like, perform this virus onto, like, the AI cores of Arsenal Gear. When Ocelot walks in, just cold shoots the president in the head, basically says whoops, and then walks away, leaving you completely confused. From there, you gotta go save the hacker girl, who you find out is actually Otacon's younger sister. Anyways, you have to swim through a bunch of water. You fight Vamp at some point in time. You shoot him enough, and then he like runs away and he kind of dies. You find Emma. She's terrified. She pees herself, because that's the trope for these games. And she's also terrified of water, because every scientist is useless in the Metal Gear Solid world. If she's like giving you her backstory, you're kind of just nodding your head along and like making her like go onto your back while you swim under all the water and try not to hit the mines, even though it's kind of really funny when you do. And you have to have this moment where like you have to like try and like snipe protect her as she's going through this oil fence like around the edge of Big Shell. And it's just as she's about to reach the end, oh, who comes up? It's Vamp. He kidnaps Emma, basically puts a knife to her throat, and you've got to put a bunch of bullets in his head before like he kills her. But he kind of like stabs her anyways before dying for like the 7th time during this game. She puts the virus in and then proceeds to die. Otacon is visibly distressed because his younger sister just died. And there's a whole bunch of other backstory about Otacon and his sister being like estranged friends, and there's like a whole weird like incestuous love thing between Otacon and his stepmom. There's like a lot of shit going on that like no one ever really wants to explain, but Metal Gear? I'm running out. And as soon as you're done, like Raiden, our beautiful elfin boy, he looks at Snake and is like, well, what the f do we do next? And then the cyborg ninja jumps out of nowhere, basically like beats the hell out of Raiden. And Raiden looks at Snake and goes like, why? And he's like, I don't remember ever saying I was on your team. And then the cyborg ninja like opens up her mask, and it's actually Olga. You wake up, you're like held up kind of like hostage style like Solid Snake was in Shadow Moses, only because it's way funnier now. You're completely naked. And so Solidus is there, Olga is there, and Ocelot's there. And they're just like, okay, it's time for another giant plot dump. So Solidus tells you that, hey, I'm like your adopted father, and also you're a child soldier from Liberia, and also you're a giant murderer who killed hundreds of people when you were a kid and were taken in by the CIA for a secret military project. Whoops, by the way. Ocelot electrocutes you a whole bunch, tries to torture you and kill you, and then he leaves, and then Olga's just like, alright, I'll let you go, I guess, because I'm secretly a double agent. I've also realized I've completely forgotten about the fact you have a girlfriend in this entire game. Your girlfriend Rose, who is like the save file character. She's been calling you for most of this game, just kind of harassing you and just kind of like, do you remember the time we started started dating, and Raiden's like, I'm a little bit busy. And as you're going through Arsenal gear, you keep getting calls from Colonel Campbell and from your girlfriend. But like every time you get a call, it's like a little bit weirder. Like the sound is distorted, and they start talking in like weird nonsense until eventually you like trapeze your way through the entire area. You find Solid Snake. He gives you all your guns back, and he also gives you a sword and says, Olga thought you'd be better with a sword than guns because you're kind of shit with guns. You go like balls deep with Solid Snake and just fight a bunch of other like Arsenal Tengu samurai soldiers. You meet up with Fortune and Ocelot at a certain point in time. So Solid Snake's like, don't worry, I'll deal with this girl. You gotta go up and you gotta fight Solidus. And then you end up in a weird VR reality world where you have to fight a shit ton of Metal Gear Rays. So you spend like 15 minutes just fighting like 24 Metal Gear Rays until eventually like a cutscene just happens for no reason and you're too tired to continue on. You're about to die, and all of a sudden Olga, as the cyborg ninja, comes in, tries to save you. Solidus comes in to stop her, beats the out of Olga, kills her, and just as everything's about to go like the evil person's way, all the Metal Gear Rays start like losing their damn mind and freaking out. So the virus that Emma put in is now finally affecting everyone for plot reasons. The Metal Gear Rays start trying to kill Solidus, but Solidus is a super badass who right now is also wearing like a Metal Gear like Dr. Octopus suit. So he's got just like octopus arms for like no reason at all. No one has ever explained why he has Doc Ock arms, but it's kind of rad because they shoot missiles. He single-handedly kills like every single one of the Metal Gear Rays. Solidus wakes you up. He tries to choke the life out of you, tortures you a little bit. You survive. Fortune's there as well, and I think Snake's like next to you all tied up. And then Solidus basically says like, all right, so the plan now is we're gonna shoot all the nukes now at the Wall Street. When Ocelot kind of pulls one of his trademark like triple, quadruple agent turns, and he's just like, no, I was just kind of like, how does this go? All right. So at this point, this game actually loses all sense of sensicality. Like, I would drink more of this if it wasn't empty. But at this point, Ocelot turns again, saying he's there for the Patriots, and all of this was just like a feint by the Patriots to train Raiden to be the next Metal Gear, like to be the next Solid Snake. And Ocelot's just like, I'm gonna get in this giant like Metal Gear Ray, and I'm just gonna leave. Fortune's like, no, I can't do that. I have my magic powers. I'll stop him. Ocelot kills her, and he says the only reason you had magic powers is because the Patriots gave it to you. Shoots all of Metal Gear Ray's missiles at everybody. Fortune gets up. She's like, maybe I do have magic powers. Stops all the missiles from magic powers that never get explained, and then she proceeds to die. Ocelot's like, well, that kind of sucks. And then he grips his arm again, and Liquid Snake takes him over. And then he says, well, I'm gonna go kill all the Patriots. And then he f***s off in the giant Metal Gear. Solid Snake runs after him. Raiden and his warlord asshole father, Solidus Snake, they crash into New York in this giant Metal Gear. You get a call from Campbell, who you know now is an AI, and then they just say, well, now you have to kill Solidus because that's obviously the way this video game ends. So you take your sword and then you stab Solidus to death. You're like kind of walking away completely dazed from there. Snake meets up with you, even though he was like chasing the Metal Gear. It kind of says something to the effect of just like, I know all this seems crazy, but you have to remember that we can still be good people. And then you meet up with Rose, who's just like, I know everything I said to you was crazy and that I said I was also an agent for the Patriots, but I'm real now and I'm here. Let's have a family. Well, in the background, Vamp's actually just kind of smiling and waving at you. And then you find out that like the Patriots who were in the data disk thing were all actually been dead for like 100 years. Like none of it makes sense. It's just like Kojima just kind of going just like, and then magic happened. And like none of it actually matters. And that's how the fucking game ends. That's how Metal Gear Solid 2 ends. Like, if this were more full, I would drink from it further. But that is basically how Metal Gear Solid 2 ends.